room shirt today, actually.
Awesome.
And we're live, guys. Welcome again to another episode of Deconversion Stories. Today, I'm talking to Humanobo. He's all the way over in Indonesia, and I'm kind of jealous because I've never been. Oh, you might want to turn that volume down because I can hear it.
Okay. Is that right?
I can still hear me.
What?
Yeah, I can hear you. So I don't know why. Oh, you know what? Hang on. It's me. Never mind. Never mind. It was actually me this time. I'm the culprit.
Okay. No problem.
Bad Neil. Bad Neil. All right. Yeah, because I have to go. I can't give somebody moderator privileges on my little pad, so I had to give my friend Steve moderator privileges through actually going through my computer. So, anyways, guys, you know what we do here? We like to hear people's stories about how they left their faith, they left their religion behind, or as I say, threw it the fuck away.
Yeah.
Anyway, so today we're going to hear from my friend Humanobo here about his story, but when he first started realizing that things weren't quite what they seemed to be, and his pathway to becoming the atheist that he is today. So I'll let you take it over.
All right. Hi Neil. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem.
Oh wow, you got a beer.
Absolutely. Well, I always usually have one, but
All
last two
right.
I didn't. But
Okay. So basically, when I was a kid, I was born in Indonesia. So here is mostly Muslim country. And then I think ever since I was a kid, I was just like random questions, like I already questioning some of the parts of the scripture from
right.
the Quran. Like I don't know, like the praying part and the logics in their I guess like everyone else is like when you're a kid you don't like to be told what to do, right? So
I agree.
so if the parents or everyone is saying telling me to do this or that, so I was like, why do I need to do that? And says that God is is merciful, and he understands you, and in any case you're Islam, so you have a ticket to heaven already. So I was like, then why should we pray? I mean, like if God is, he knows everything, and it's like this free will kind of problem. I'm like, what? So, but yeah, but at that time, since I have no words to express that thing, and also like the overwhelming, family pressure and all, and so you just like, oh, okay, that's what we should do, and just don't ask questions. I'll understand it later. So
Right.
little by little, like one question leads to another, stuff like that. So and then I moved to Europe. That's where actually, I've seen I met with other people, other from different faiths, from different culture, from all over the world. So when I was thinking, like they all have their own dogmas too.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, but why are you following that? Well, Allah is saying to follow this, and are you sure? And then yeah, from that point it was like existential question, like you're
Yeah,
like, what?
for sure.
You're like, wow, am I following the right religion, or stuff like that. And then yeah, but still it up until I was 24, something like that, 23. um then yeah, I mean, I began to lose all the dogmas because that didn't make sense
Right.
to me. But the faith in Allah and in the God is still stayed in me.
Right.
And so I was afraid of criticizing anything that, or questioning the big daddy in the sky. So so I was like, okay, should I question him or not? And then, and I've read other books and stuff like that, and it doesn't really happen. That's why it's really hard to say that it's not like one day, like one Ricky Gervais got converted to atheism because he asked a question and his brother says, do you still believe in that? And then at that moment he knew.
Yeah.
But for me it was more gradual. Like I start to question, like, first the dogmas. Like it was very precise, like, in Islam, when you're praying, you have like, you pray 5 times a day.
Right.
I mean, that's the compulsory, and then you can add more if you want to add, more prayers.
Sure.
And then in each like moment of the day that you're praying, you have a different raka'at, which means like a different bowing kind of thing.
Right.
It's like, so in the morning it's
Like
like,
with the mats, and you see them all going down to
exactly,
the ground.
exactly, exactly. Yeah. So when you go to the ground once, that's one raka'at, and then you go up, and then you do one more, and then two raka'at. It's a bit like a army thing. Like, it doesn't make sense. But so I was questioning, like, why do we use like two rakat in the morning and then four rakat in the evening, or like different moments? And why two? Why not three, four? Why not three, five? Why, like
Yeah.
very practical question like that, and no one could answer me at that point. So
It seemed like legitimate questions too. I mean, why this specific number at this time, right?
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, and like the best explanation that was given to me is like, in the morning you don't have time, you're going to work, and so you do two, and then at night you do four because you have more time, and blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, but the concept of 9 to 5 is coming after the industrial revolution, and working like that, before people are working in different hours, and also depending on the sun and stuff,
Mhm.
uh, in different areas in the world, right? And the time zone is different. So I'm like, it doesn't make sense. So God has a very specific raka'at for a very specific moment of the day. I mean, it's nonsense really. So, but at that point, yeah, so as I said, like, it's gradual, like little by little I'm starting questioning this, and then starting to question other big questions as well. And yeah, so I went, yeah, that's my gradual process uh, of becoming an atheist, until
Mhm.
actually lately I only, like 2 years ago, that I only really admitted to all my family that I'm an atheist.
Really? How did that
Yeah.
go?
Well, you know I mean, in Indonesia my family are really good compared to other families. So for them it's like I'm still a lost Muslim.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure.
So they're
Like
like,
one of the
oh,
sheep that wandered away from the flock.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So they still have hope that, for me, I come back to Islam.
Mm.
But I already told them that, there's a very, very like, not a chance actually.
Like, yeah, I find that once you're out of that sort of a belief system, it's really hard to bring someone back. And you often hear that there are atheists out there that do reconvert back to whatever faith they were in. But I always say then that they probably weren't really fully, completely away from it
Yeah,
to be lured back in. Because to me, all the scriptures are just mythologies, just like every other one that's ever been in human history.
I agree. I
So,
agree. I totally agree. The only thing is that, since it takes over your culture,
Hmm.
your community, everything, it seems so real. And uh, and it's not in your right mind. You say like, oh, it's not possible that all my family are wrong. So and
That's hard to come to terms with too.
yeah, and also like, since you have been told that like fire burns and God exists in the same equal terms. So if
Right.
God is angry, then you really feel that somebody is angry at you if you're questioning that.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, like for example, one day I was watching like anime. I love animes, One
Me
Piece.
too.
I was watching One
Fluffy.
Piece. Yes, exactly. And at one point there's like, I don't know, one episode or whatever, making the story short, there's this character Zoro who
Hmm.
just wants to defy God. And one of the other characters are like, oh, you're questioning God, oh, how can you question God, and blah blah blah. And they were so scared, and I really see myself in that, like, why why you question. And then I saw the Zoro is like, oh, I never believe in him anyway, so I don't care. So he goes along in his journey, and I found it so cool, but I was so scared to find it so cool, I was like, ah. so
It's hard because you're still worried about the what ifs. Like, what if I'm going to end up facing some eternal punishment for my non-belief now? And it was
yeah.
hard for me too, right? When I first left. Although Jews, I was raised Jewish, so
Okay.
which is funny because I always say you don't really choose your beliefs. It's basically whoever your parents and your family are. Because I was born to a Christian couple, one of them Catholic, the other one Christian. But they gave me up for adoption, and I have met them since, and they've been part of my life now for over 20 years. But I was raised by Jewish people, so we didn't really have a hell, but we had something that you might consider akin to like a purgatory sort of thing.
Mm,
And I was always afraid that I was going to get left there if I didn't start speaking to God again, because that's
mm.
part of Judaism. We have conversations with Him, right? But
But how did?
after a while, you're just like, yeah, you know what? What are the likelihood? I mean, none of that's ever been shown to be a thing by anyone ever, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, and when you became an atheist, how did did it like happen, like during a, I mean, just instantly, or like how did it?
For me, I think it
Yeah.
was more of a short process because I was once a believer, and for many years, even when I sort of derailed from Judaism and started looking into other things like Wicca and other Celtic-y beliefs, because I found out that I had Welsh heritage and English and Saxonish type heritage as
Wow.
well. I started looking into the whole Viking things and all that other stuff, right? And I was kind of a pantheist for a bit, and believing in shit like the Green Man and all that crap. But I gave all that up too because I'm thinking to myself, why would I swap one set of horse shit for another, right? And I even
Yeah.
tried doing spells, and it never worked. So,
Yeah. But
right?
actually, it's interesting because I do have the same thing when I gone out of Islam. I needed a transition phase,
Mhm.
I needed like this kind of spirituality, because I felt like since there's no God, uh I felt like an emptiness,
Mhm.
and I needed to find some other belief system that is more more closer to my values, basically,
Sure.
to my personality. And that's where I went into like spirituality, all those
You got to remember though. I think everybody has a different definition of what they consider spirituality as well,
yeah,
right? So you
yeah, yeah.
found what closely matched what you were after.
Yes, yes, exactly. I mean, for me, when yeah, the spirituality, actually, in the I went, like I just replaced God because it's God is like some kind of character,
Mhm.
characterization, a personification of that
Sure.
that ultimate energies, or ultimate, so I looked. I mean, I was more inclined towards like Buddhism or Hinduism.
Mhm.
That where there's like they have a much more lenient description of gods or God, you know and it's not like Islam is like one God, and he wants this, he wants that, and he doesn't like you to do this and doesn't like you to do that, and blah blah blah. So yeah, so I believed like this concept of universal, the source, a bit like
The
like Neo.
source.
Yeah, a bit like Neo is like God is in all of us and blah blah blah, and
Right.
uh,
Right.
you know and then there's we all connected to the one single entity, but there's no personification of that entity. It's just like one entity, what we call the source or whatever. And so yeah, and that transition phase, it took me a couple, like 2 years maybe.
Mhm.
And then after that, I came to the realization, like the same as you, I guess. Like, why would I replace one belief system with another? uh you know
Sure.
well,
That, especially ones that have no evidence to back them up.
yeah, exactly. And also, what I was real what I was what I realized was like more, this is all linguistic tricks, you know
Yeah.
uh
Sure. Yeah.
so it's like,
Some of it. Yeah.
instead of saying God, we say the source. Instead of saying da da da, we say blah blah. Instead of prophet, we have the, we just repackage it, differently. So I'm like, oh, this is all the same
I
actually.
say.
So
I say we all become Jedi's and use the Force.
yes, exactly, something like that.
I really
So
want a lightsaber. That's really why I want to be a Jedi.
yeah, well, that would be very cool though.
Yes, it would. Absolutely.
And then yeah, so when until 2 years ago, I told my family that I was an atheist. And at first, of course, there's like this like sudden reaction, from my mom or from my family, is like, uh oh my god, like this is, we're different now for them,
Right.
it's leaving our culture and tradition. Mm, and I was like, no, ma, I'm still your son, like it's it's okay, you know.
Still
Like,
me.
yeah, I'm
I
still
just
me.
without the baggage.
Yes, exactly. So but yeah, I guess that's where Indonesian people, they are very, I mean, they are very used to see other different uh, ethnics as well, because in Indonesia there's like a lot of religion, even though Muslim is the biggest uh, biggest religion. But in Indonesia there's like a lot of diversity, and in their motto, it's like Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. It says that I mean, unity in the with diversity.
Hmm. Well,
So in that saying, so they are, Indonesian people, they won't discriminate you as like violently. Like,
right.
it's more soft kind of discrimination. They'll be like, but
Soft
yeah, it's,
discrimination.
yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit soft, it's like, so
Subtle,
yeah,
maybe.
subtle.
A little
It's
bit.
like, for example, in the Ramadan, that's where they gather. It's like the Christmas for
Yeah. Yeah.
you know and
I've been to a
in
couple of parties, so
y-
the food is fantastic. That's all I can say.
it's
When they do
awesome.
eat, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, no, but what I mean to say, like, Indonesian people, mostly they're accustomed to see other different, ethnics. Even in Indonesia, it's a lot of dialects. So
Mhm.
they'll be like, okay, maybe you're just, I mean, at first, of course, you're different, but after that they're like, oh, well, whatever. But as long as you don't put it on the table, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I
That's it.
think diversity is what makes us humans, really.
Exactly. Yeah. But
We
it's just
do
that they
have to
don't.
learn to respect each other, is all it is. I mean, I'll respect people. I don't necessarily respect belief systems because not all of them are good, right? And can lead to harm.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, sometimes a lot of yeah, Asian, but this is mostly Asia. I think Southeast Asia is like they 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 merge the word respect and compliance. You know,
Really?
yeah.
Hmm.
So for them, if you comply to something, that means you respect. You know, because
Wow.
and that's what I'm telling to say to all my family. I'm like, it doesn't mean that do you know that a lot of people comply to your bullshit, but they don't fucking respect you, you know.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
uh, and uh,
yeah.
and I've been there, I was praying to the imam and blah blah blah, and we're talking behind his back because the imam is blah blah blah. We didn't care about the praying at all, but when the imam turned around, we're like Allahu Akbar, and uh, I mean,
Hey,
you
I
know,
did that in synagogue too.
yes.
So
So so at that time I complied, but I didn't respect. So
sure.
this is different now. Like I don't necessarily have to comply to your belief system or to your culture or to your traditions, but I respect that you should be able to do it. And
Yeah,
to
sure.
express
I mean,
whatever.
I'll always stand up for people's right to have religion if they want it. But I'll also, on the other side, I'll try to talk some sense into them, maybe drag them out of it at the same time, right?
Yeah, yeah. But have you and your family? How did they take it?
My family, well, you know
Yeah.
what? They've known. My mom and my dad have known that I haven't really been a believer for quite a few years now. But
Yeah.
I think it was probably in the last couple of years that I basically came out and said I'm a full out atheist. And most
Yeah.
of them were like, most of them weren't really surprised. They were just more like, oh yeah, well, oh, there's a family picnic next week. Okay, great, I'll be there.
Ah,
They
okay.
didn't. But Jews today are so more secular than they've been in many years. Like in
Yeah.
my household, even growing up, of course, pork is forbidden in Judaism and, of course, Islam as well. Um, Also, by the way, you're the first Muslim I've had a chat with, just so
Ah,
you
all
know.
right.
Um, so we had bacon in the house because my dad was like, fuck that, I'm eating bacon, right? But my dad still went to synagogue on the high holidays and used to drag us as kids on the Fridays and the Saturdays when we didn't have something else planned. But I think they just wanted us. For Jews, it's more the cultural aspect of it all, right? So I still go to the holiday dinners like the Hanukkah and the Passover and stuff like that. And I'm not going to say no because the food is fucking fantastic and I'm all about
Yeah.
eating the food, right? So
Yeah, I think same here,
I'm a
bro.
big foodie. So and you know what? I swear, dude, I should have been born Asian because my favorite foods are all the Asian foods.
Ah, you will love it here, bro.
Oh, I'll tell you, I want to get over there, and I'm going to ask you that if I ever come over there, you'll help me save on hotel bills, and I'll stay at your place.
All right. We're gonna move to Europe next year, though.
Oh, well, for crying out loud, we'll have to go over there together from Europe. Then I'll come in.
All
We'll
right.
go see a few things in Europe, and then we'll
Of
fly
course.
over. Because yeah, man, I that's one continent. Well, no, because I've been to Israel and Lebanon, so technically they're in Asia, but
Mm-mm.
that's more the Middle East,
Yeah.
right? Because I've been to Egypt, which is Africa, right? So I've been on that continent. I've been on the Asian continent, just not east. I've been in
Yeah.
Europe. I've yet to hit east, like the Orient and the Eastern Asia, Southeast Asia, and Australia. And of
Mm.
course the Antarctic. But fuck that. I live in Canada. It gets cold enough here. Thank you very much. But
Yeah.
but I have a friend who works in the Antarctic on some of their radio stuff that they have down there. So he
Awesome.
says he says, by the way, don't believe the bullshit. There's no fucking Nazis that live in the Antarctic.
So, oh yeah. Oh
I used to
that
hear that
story.
shit.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So I have a friend that worked down there. He's like, there's no fucking hole with Nazis flying out in their little Vril fucking UFOs or whatever the hell they are. He's like, that's just a load of horse shit. And there's no ice wall for the flat earthers, just so they know that.
Awesome. Now I have the counter argument for.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, his name's Kenny. I grew up with him. We were kids. We used to grow up and play tag all the time and play baseball and shit. You know, he's doing some work in the. Well, he's not there anymore, but he was for a couple of years. So. So how's that steady diet of penguin doing for you, buddy?
It must be cool though. But how how long has he been there?
Well, he was there. I think he was there for about an 8-month span at the first time, and then the next time he went out, it was only about 4 or 5 months. So he's done two deals down there. Now he's in Chile, I believe, right now. So.
Wow.
Yeah, he was
a lot in like change of scenery. Like wow.
Yeah. But Chile's not that far from the Antarctic, but so. I mean, it's fairly close. Yeah, he does work in that field. He's a scientist as well, kind of like me, but I'm kind of a lowly chemist. I'm not like I don't have a degree or anything, but I have certificates saying that I can do what I do for a living. So anyway.
Yeah, and you're discovering the world, bro.
Yeah. One chemical and element at a time.
Yes. Yep.
So
yeah, tell me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Carry on, man. Go ahead.
No. If you have any more questions, I mean, like, I think it's very hard. I don't have like an essay in my head that I would, So,
dude, I never script anything. This is all off the top. So.
Okay.
Was it all right? Were there any of your family members that kind of disowned you or that don't talk to you? No. Okay.
No,
so you're lucky.
No. Yes, I'm very lucky that my family are very very accepting. I mean, understanding. Maybe not understanding. They just like whatever, And a lot of youngsters like me, like my cousin or something like that. They still believe in Islam, and but most of the dogma they take it as tradition, kind of cultural thing,
Right. Sure.
So yeah, they don't. But sometimes I'm in the family group or something, and they send some surat or some whatever news about Islam. Sinead O'Connor, that singer, just
jeez,
become blah blah blah, become Islam.
She made a video, singing the call to prayer, which is apparently forbidden for women to do that.
Yeah, and you know what? And I remember, like, my mom is sending it to me in the family group, and then so I read the article, and in the article it says like, yeah, she was in the mental health and blah blah blah,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, Mom, like you just point out that she become a Muslim, but you don't point out like on part of the article that she went to she has a mental health problem.
She does, man.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure she switched to Islam just to spit in the face of the Catholic Church because of all the rapes and children, stuff like that. Because she's always had issues with the Catholic Church, anyways.
So anyway, yeah. So it just small stuff like that, but they don't disown me. My mom still. I'm hearing. Okay, my mom still.
No, that was my phone. Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, no one disowned me, and I mean, we have a great relationship with my mom. It's like human to human, and mom to son, and my the other part of my family, my brothers, sisters, we have a great relationship, and so no, I guess I'm pretty lucky in that. Yeah.
Not many. I'm not going to say not many, but there are a lot of people that do end up being completely written off by their families when they tell them that they've left the faith, right?
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, really. I mean, it just shows how damaging religion can be, right? I mean, this is your family member, and you're just going to cast them aside because they don't follow your beliefs anymore. And to me, that's just horrible. If you ask me.
It's crazy, and
Love should be stronger than that.
I'm lucky as well that I'm a man, because you know, if I was a woman, like right now, my sister is not coming back to Indonesia. She lives in Europe right now, because of that precise reason. If you're you know, if you're coming back here, you have this so much social pressure, and especially if you're a woman, you know, because you're the jewels of the family and da da da. You know, so if somebody is gonna, I mean, if you're stray away from Islam, then it's like, you know, it's the biggest sin as a parent. You know,
Apostasy. Yeah.
yeah, the
And
apostasy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
punishable by death.
Yes, I mean, it will not happen in Indonesia. I mean, most in parts of extreme, you know, in some parts in Indonesia, like in Aceh, for example, in Sumatra, there is a Sharia law, but in most part in Indonesia, there is, you know, people don't apply Sharia law like that, you know.
Right.
But and so there will not be people who will be, you know, killed because of apostasy. I don't think so. I don't think so. But
Well, that's good to hear.
disowned by family, yes. And you know what? Last year, the governor of Jakarta, which is the capital of Indonesia,
Yep.
he I don't know if you heard the news, and he was a Christian, and he criticized his opponent, like roughly saying that you shouldn't use religion as a to get more political power.
Like a
Uh,
platform.
yeah, exactly. And so uh, he got in jail for a year for
Uh-huh.
a blasphemy law.
Oh, actually, I do remember. That was just recently, correct?
Yeah, it was last year.
I do
Uh,
remember hearing about this.
Yeah, so and that's crazy. I mean, he didn't even criticize Islam or whatsoever. He just said roughly, I don't know, like word per word, but like, yeah, don't use religion in politics, you know.
No, they should
And
never mix.
yeah, and that's what he said. And so the opponent was, you know, calling, you know, all the people from Sumatra, you know, people who support Sharia laws, the extremists, basically, to march down in Jakarta and blah blah blah. So to, you know, uh, to put him in jail. So that's pretty scary, you know.
Yeah, I see. Blasphemy laws are just absolutely ludicrous. Like, so you hurt someone's feelings, they'll get over it in time. It's
Yeah,
just ridiculous to lock somebody up just because they have a difference of opinion of your belief system. It's stupid.
yeah, and it also incites people to say that, oh, you know what, you're stupid, so you know, instead of like, hey, you know, you can take this, you know, it's okay to be offended, you can
Yep.
take this, it's fine, you know, just you know, fight bad ideas with better ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's it,
I
you know.
like that. I'm going to use that. I like that.
So yeah, that's about it. And also, oh yeah, did your so for you, when you start questioning
Mhm.
your fam, I mean, so your family had nothing, I mean, they didn't try to lure you in or to
No,
go to see a rabbi or something, no?
no, no. I
No.
actually had a conversation when I was learning some of the Torah parts for my bar mitzvah.
Mm-hmm.
I had a conversation with the rabbi that he's passed since he was quite old at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I had a conversation with him, and I actually said to him, and I was 13 years old. I said, listen, I don't know if I believe this stuff anymore. He said, well, you don't really have to, but Your parents are putting up a lot of money for this, so you better learn these Torah parts and do your part and have the bar mitzvah, because there's a big payoff. You'll get lots of cool gifts and stuff. And he had me right there. I was like, cool gifts. Yeah, and they turned out to be like cross pens and fucking subscriptions to Sports Illustrated and stuff like that. So, but I got some checks and stuff, which I ended up buying shit tons of Lego with at the time.
Awesome.
Yeah. I was a big Lego fanatic. But he knew, and my parents kind of knew that I was falling away from that, even at that age. But I still kind of had that belief that there was something there, a God of some kind or whatever. And that, but that eventually that went away. Right? I mean, once you realize that, shit, how many times have I asked him for something to happen and it's never happened? Like every fucking time, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, it's funny because we can sometimes fool ourselves. We'll say or pray for whatever, and then something will happen that we tie to it. Right?
Yeah.
We think,
it's like confirmation bias.
Yeah, exactly. And I fell for that a few times. But when you realize that it's just coincidental, then you go, okay, well, yeah, screw that then.
Yeah.
So.
But a lot of
sorry, it's a long journey.
A lot of people. I mean, a lot of religious. Well, I would say theists. A lot of theists will say to you that can say to you that you left your religion because of emotional reasons, because your answer didn't get your praying didn't get answers. So
you're mad at God, or you just want to sin, or stuff like that.
Yeah, and then you're angry at him because he's not answering you. So that kind of
for sure.
Kind of thing. So and those kind of arguments are very hard to counter when you're at such a young age, and and even right now, if you're not very good at spotting like logical fallacies, then you'll be like, oh shit, yeah, I'm actually because angry, and that's why like the lost Muslim kind of thing, like and then I'm like, maybe I should turn and not seeing it as an angry and blah blah blah.
Right, sure. I mean, now I always say, when people say, oh, you're just angry at God, and I say, well, not really. How can you be angry at something you don't believe in? Not only that, but why would I expect him to answer my prayers when he won't even answer the thousands of children that are being molested by men who allegedly speak for him? Right?
Yeah. It's a test.
He won't even answer their prayers. Oh, it's a test. Okay, yes. Well, how about the guy that's giving the test is fucking failing the test? How about that? Because he's not coming down. And you'd think of anyone that would pray to him, it would be the children that are in those predicaments that he would come to the aid of, but he hasn't shown up yet.
And you know what? Even though it's true, if it's a test, like, why would you follow someone who puts you in a test like this?
Yeah, why would you follow a dickhead like that anyways?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and also the Pascal wager, like like at least if I believe, I got the golden ticket. If I don't, it's okay. You know what I mean?
It's fucking cop out is what that shit is.
Yes, it is.
Just believe to be on the safe side. You know what, Pascal, go fuck yourself. You
yes, exactly.
I'm done with that shit.
Bro. He was high.
yeah, he must have been smoking some of that glorious ancient cannabis or something.
Yeah. But anyway, like, I wanted to tell you also the when I started to question a little bit when I was younger. So my family like tried to several times, and I met the Islam of the different mosques, even with my sister and stuff, and we were so they were trying to lure me back in, because they already at that time I wasn't called an atheist already. I was just curious, and they were already like putting me to the right path, trying to. And but most of the imams out there, and actually, yeah, they're using a lot of linguistic tricks, and
Sure.
they're. But the thing is, they don't realize it themselves. You know,
No, of
it's not
course not.
because and and you know what? It goes so deep that they are putting their best intentions because they really believe that you are astray, and this is the this is the right way. So they really want. I mean, they have a sincere goal, like to
Sure.
save you.
They
Uh,
think they're doing good. That
exactly. Yeah.
that's why it's hard to kind of deal with people like that because you know that they mean well,
Yeah.
but you just don't buy the bullshit anymore. How do you tell somebody like that they think they're looking out for your best interest? So you know it's coming from the heart, really. But
Yeah. Yeah.
you just gotta, yeah. Well, maybe you can convince some of them to jump on our side of the fence,
Yeah.
which isn't an easy task.
No, and everything that you say to refute that claim, it's an offense. You know.
True.
So
Well, not
it's
every
like,
time,
oh,
but yeah, a lot.
I mean, yeah, most. I mean, yeah, not every time. You're right. You're right. Not every time. But yeah, they put a proposition to you, uh, and then you're like, yeah, but I don't truly buy it. And they're like, what do you mean you don't buy it? And are you stupid? Use your brain, Pierre. Use your brain.
I am. That's why I'm an atheist now.
Yes, exactly. They always say that. That's their number one argument. It's like, use your brain. I'm like, damn.
But they're
Yeah,
not. See, they're taking it all from an emotional standpoint, not a logical standpoint.
yeah, yeah,
Because it ties deeply into our emotion.
yeah. But what can you do? I mean, you cannot like. I mean, by experience, it's like whenever you try to counter argue with someone, and then you give them facts and stuff like that, they end up more religious.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they'll double down on their beliefs once you start throwing facts in their face. It happens a lot. And actually, there's something very funny that was said in the comments I thought I'd share with you here.
Yeah.
My friend Stephen Bowman said, or Bowman, I don't even know how you pronounce your name, Stephen, but and if I've mispronounced it, my apologies, friend. He says this video debunks flat Earth. The sun is clearly above the horizon where you are, yet it's
Yep.
dark where I am. Because if you look outside here, it's dark out now, and it started raining. Fuck you. I hate living in Vancouver
Yeah.
sometimes. But anyway, yeah. So he's like, yeah. So just by you and I talking, we're debunking flat earthers.
Yes, exactly. I mean, they will come up for another reason, bro.
Oh yeah, they'll say, oh well, the sun moves around the flat Earth like
Exactly.
this. Yeah, but it would still be light here, you jackass.
Yeah.
It would be light all the time, like it is up north in the summertime. It's
Yeah.
always light up there.
Yeah, you can't win with those people, bro.
No, I know. Bring reason to the table, and they eat it up and spit it out and throw more bullshit in your face.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
wow. Yeah, there's some crazy ass fucking people out there, man. Conspiracy people just crack me up.
Yeah,
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 NASA's been faking pictures since the early '60s. Before we had the technology to do so.
yeah. But have you ever talked to someone that is, like a really true conspiracy theorist?
Oh, I have a friend
Okay,
that's
okay.
like that. Oh yeah.
And why? What are their reasons to believe that uh, that we have been lied to in that way?
I have no idea. They all have different reasons, I guess. I think with my friend, he is one of those guys that doesn't trust the government. Government's out to get you. He actually believes there's an Illuminati, and he
Mm.
thinks that um, he's, you know what, he's kind of a libertarian too.
Mm.
So, which I don't have a big deal problem with that. But I mean, I share some of the libertarian values, but not the ones that could possibly bring harm to people, which some of them can.
Yeah.
And they're just people that their mindset, and it's learned, by the way. This type of thought is learned. Probably his father was also a very big anti-government, anti-establishment kind of guy, always looking over his shoulder because he thinks someone's out to get him. So I think that's where he learned that from. Right. So, and to talk to him sometimes, like, he's a climate change denier. And I'm like, dude, really? Like, let me ask you something. I said to him, I said, if you went to see 100 doctors about a medical issue, 97 of them told you that there was definitely something wrong and you need to take care of it, and 3 of them told you that you were fine. Would you believe the 3 or would you believe the 97? Right? Because, they say 97% of the scientists out there agree with climate change, 3% don't. And he goes, well, I would probably talk to the 3 to find out why, and then I'd probably go with theirs. I'm like, you're an idiot, Dan. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. But I think, like, maybe they have like a distrust.
That's part of it. That's part of it.
Of the whole consensus thingy.
Yeah, he just doesn't trust government. I'm very thankful that he's not a flat earther. I'll give him that one.
Yeah,
but he's a Holocaust denier.
Mm.
Right. So, and I know this shit happened because we lost 4 family members in the Holocaust. So.
Yeah.
This family that I'll never get to meet. Well, they'd probably be passed by now anyways, but still. Yeah. And who knows what kind of family members we would have had if those people had survived. Right. And he's like, oh, they didn't have the gas. There's no such thing. I'm like, dude, my uncle has one of the gas canisters that were used at the concentration camp. So don't tell me that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a 9/11 truther. He's at least he doesn't deny that we went to the moon. I'll give him that one.
Okay.
But yeah, he's got a lot of wacky theories, and I think it's just due to his dad mostly, because his dad was very paranoid about stuff like that. So.
But their distrust against government can sometimes be backed up by the wrong decisions that the government makes.
Sure.
Right. But the thing is, they paint it in a whole big brush, like doesn't understand the complexity of each decisions, or it's not because one the government or whoever that is make a wrong move that the whole thing is wrong.
Well, I don't trust the government 100% myself, right? But
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
a lot of politicians are crooked, so
for sure. So yeah, it comes from a good I don't know, good intention, like, oh, you shouldn't trust the government, blah blah blah. But
I agree that there is some in there. His intentions are to be protective over the people that he cares about.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a little bit like religion.
Yeah, it is. It's just another. It's a belief system, is what it is, right? So
yes,
you can be indoctrinated into that kind of belief system just as much as you can be indoctrinated into a religious belief system. And that's what I mean by he learned it. He learned it. I mean, his dad and his dad's brother apparently were quite fanatical about stuff like that. It's learned behavior. And I always say, whatever you learn, you can unlearn. Right?
Yeah, definitely. But it takes harder.
Sure.
It's so hard to because I don't know, when I take out Islam, when I talk about it with my brother, for example, and he cannot see it because Islam for him is not only a belief system, it's a cultural identity, community, it has this whole thing, this whole layer, it takes every layer of your life, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the people that's watching, my friend Reese, was wondering, he goes, that accent sounds familiar. Where's he from? I said, well, he's from Indonesia. He goes, wow, he speaks English very well. And I said, well, he has lived in Europe. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm actually I have I'm a French nationality. That's
oh,
I
are you?
yeah.
Right.
So if you
Right.
want, I can speak like this,
Like this
like
French.
this with French accent.
Beautiful. I do French accent too here because we that's our second language here in Canada as well.
Yeah.
Because of the Quebecois, you know.
Yeah. So tu parles
And
français?
it's a little bit. No, you know, I don't speak a lot. I could say
Ah,
like funny enough, the other language that I can speak on some level is Hebrew because I lived in Israel for a couple of years. So. Although I
okay.
don't agree with what the fuck's going on there right now, the way they're treating the Palestinians. Since I had friends that were Palestinians when I was there, and it was very different at that time.
Uh,
There was still some shit going on, but it was not like it is today. So, and
well,
it's tough.
how is it to live there?
When I was there, it was fine. Right?
Mm,
One thing I learned is you see soldiers all over the place when you live in Israel. They're walking down the street. They even have their guns with them. And what the Israelis that I befriended told me is the time to worry is when you don't see them walking around the streets, because that means they're off in the lines somewhere defending the country. So there's
wow.
war, right? So yeah, I had many friends, both Arabic, like Lebanese friends, Palestinian friends, Israeli friends, Egyptian friends. I had tons of friends there because I don't give a fuck who you are, what you believe. If you're a decent human being, I'll be your friend, right? So
Yeah.
that's just me, right?
And does the population have uh uh like a real like discrimination towards each other, or is
I
like
didn't notice a lot.
political? Okay.
I didn't, not then. It's somewhat changed now because of the radicalization that has gone on both ends
Yeah.
in that area. So it's the heat has been turned up since I've been there. Um, so my niece was just over there recently, and she said that she notices it a lot. There's a lot of distrust, even amongst people, like even amongst Israelis, because some of the Israelis are on the side of the Palestinians that are being brutalized over there, right? So, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of dissent between even them, and it can be pretty freaky. She said she didn't really feel safe there sometimes. You never know when
Wow.
something's going to blow up, right? You should be walking around in the shuk in Jerusalem, and all of a sudden something blows up, and you're just like, holy shit, right? Because it's very different, and it can be
Wow.
pretty scary. So, yeah,
Wow.
when I was in Jerusalem, and I'll say this for sure. I was going to say this earlier, and I forgot. When I lived in Jerusalem for a little bit, like probably a couple of months over the summer, and one of the what the imam that gets up to the tower there and does the bell and the call to prayer, the song that they sing, it's kind of mesmerizing, and I always enjoyed that song.
Yeah.
You know, you can hear it, and it's always like, wow, that sounds really cool, right? But I was still sort of a believer at the time, so a
Yeah.
little bit.
The azan?
But yeah, it was definitely yeah, and you could hear it the 5 times of the day, and you always sit back, crack a beer, and listen to him go at it for the 20 minutes or whatever he did. And
Mm,
yeah, it was always pretty neat. Just the vocalizations always kind of intrigued me, I guess. It's kind of
yeah.
neat.
So you
Didn't really.
romanticize about the fact that, you know.
Yeah. It was. It does sound neat, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty. It's a neat song, I guess, that they sing.
Wow.
I always
Yeah.
thought it was pretty cool. I mean, there's always going to be things about religion that I'm going to say, hey, that's pretty neat. Like architecture,
Yeah.
religious
Yeah.
architecture, religious artwork. Some of it is beautiful. I'm not going to
Yeah.
argue that, right? I just don't.
Even the music sometimes. Yeah.
Sure. As long as they don't get too preachy, I'm all right with
Yeah.
it.
I mean, "Go Down Moses" by Neil Armstrong is a religious song, but it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's an awesome song.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's always going to, I mean, I'm a musician myself, so I can appreciate music for what it is without
Yeah.
having to be angry at the context. I mean, if you're going to write a song about child pornography, then I'm going to get pissed off, right? Because that shit
Yeah.
is not cool, right?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, being a lyricist, because I write all the words for the songs that we do for my band.
Yeah.
To me, the stories are important, and if they have a bad message involved, then of course that's going to irk me to some degree.
Yeah, definitely.
But
But yeah,
yeah,
that's the thing that I don't like actually with religion is the fact that they take over in every discipline. You know, it's like we discovered evolution. Oh, but we did that. And then we discover this. Oh, but we did that. Oh, we make great music. Oh, look at this music. We are doing that since before. You know, like so they
isn't
take.
God glorious?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. So it's like taking
Okay.
over every discipline. So I'm like, scriptures, literature,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's aggravating sometimes.
yes, exactly. And it's and if I say like, there are arts. I mean, to express your imagination, your creativity. There's not only religion. There's art for that. And if you want to, look around with your ethics or whatever, you have philosophy. You read other philosophy. You know, it's like in the Quran, it's like all of them like stacked in one kit. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it gives you everything, like from art to philosophy, to how to behave, to how to praise God, and
Right,
you
right.
know it's crazy.
My friend Reese was asking, with the weather change, does the weather change hurt my joints? And I was just responding to, actually, I'm experiencing, and this is the first year that it's happened for me. But at
Okay.
52, I just turned 52, so it's expected at
Wow,
my
congrats,
age.
bro.
But
Oh yeah, happy
I'm
birthday then.
yeah, thanks. I'm experiencing a little what do you call it? Arthritis in my shoulder. So
mm,
it's been hurting for the past few weeks.
mm,
My doctor says, it'll go away, and I'm like, yeah, can it go away faster, please? Because it sucks sometimes. But anyway,
yeah. So
well,
do you
well,
take
my
a painkiller?
I just pop an Advil here and there when it gets too bad. Most of the time, it's tolerable.
Mm,
So, but sometimes, like, I'll feel it when I move my arm backwards, mostly. Like I can feel
mm,
it right now, sharp pain right through here. But
yeah.
for the most part, it's like the rotator cuff area. Like doing this right now, and I'm not experiencing much pain. But as soon as I turn back, it's kind of hurts.
Okay.
So, mind you, I did take an Advil a little while ago. So,
Okay.
and those kind of painkillers help to dull it. So, I'm surviving. It's okay. But
And
anyway,
when you're doing a concert, does it hurt?
no, hell no. I
No.
completely forget about it.
Oh yeah.
See,
You're in the
I
zone.
love performing. Yeah, exactly. I love performing. I love getting up and I love singing in front of a shit ton of people. I'm actually kind of hoping, and the guys are okay with it too, that maybe if an atheist convention comes around my neck of the woods, even in Seattle or Tacoma or something, we might come down and I'll talk to the organizers and maybe we can play a set because a couple of my songs are about atheism.
All right.
So and a lot of the guys so far, the people that have heard our tunes, because sometimes I'll stream it.
Mm,
Not through Hangouts because Hangouts has, or I'm not sure if it's Hangouts or my fucking phone, but it's
yeah.
got sound dampening technology. So, and I tried it through my phone on a friend of mine's YouTube channel one time, and as soon as we got going, like you hear a little bit at the beginning, and as soon as we got going, everything just died out. You couldn't hear
Uh.
shit. So they had
Uh.
some, right, which sucks. But what I'm probably going to do is bring my video camera,
Hmm.
which I used to use for my other YouTube channel, um, and I'll film us doing some stuff, and then I'll screw around with the sound for a bit, and then I'll probably upload it, so people will be able to hear all our new music, which I really dig. We have such an eclectic variation in tunes now because we've got stuff that's nice and heavy. We've got stuff that sounds kind of 80s pop metal. We've got stuff
Mm.
that sounds acoustic. We've got stuff that sounds. There's one of our tunes. Somebody said, "Oh, geez, that's like country metal." I'm like, okay, well, sure. right?
What is a country metal?
I don't know. It's kind of heavier music that's got a bit of a twangy edge to it, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, okay.
But I do enjoy some country, but I'm an old school. I like Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson, stuff like that. But I like all kinds of music. It just depends. If it's decent music, I like it, right? I just don't, and I'll never say, that's shit music, because somebody worked their ass off to make this music, right? So I'll just say it's just music I don't really get into.
Yeah.
But and we like to show our influences in what we play, and I think you can hear a lot of our influences. And myself personally, I'm influenced by bands like Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, even modern greats, what I call them modern greats now, like Alice in Chains and Tool. I like bands like
I
that.
love Tool.
Yeah, Tool's fucking fantastic. My drummer can pull off any Tool song. He's
Awesome.
fantastic. And one of our songs, actually, it's called Drowning, has a very Tool-esque kind of flavor to it. So you'll hear it someday, and you'll probably go, yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna check it out.
Definitely in my vocal stylings. So I do want to do some recording of one of our jam sessions, and right now we've only got about 9 songs that we play, and we are writing some more, and we are going to probably record about 5 or 6 of them right off the top. One of them that we play is a fun song. It's nothing but noise and silly lyrics. We call it Mosquito. And it's basically this really heavy riff, and then I come in with some goofy lyrics, and I try to emulate the old late 70s, early 80s punk singers from England, like Johnny Rotten style kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
like Sex Pistols, like just the way I do it, and because I can change out my voice for when I sing, so I can a little bit different for each song. So but it's a lot of fun. And it's just a big noisy tune with goofy lyrics.
And you're writing the lyrics as well, right?
Yes, I am the sole lyricist. Yes. I mean, I'm taking an idea. My guitar player Chris wrote some lyrics, and I'm taking an idea from that and expanding on it. That'll be in an upcoming song that we're currently writing. So it's a lot of fun. And I enjoy it.
When you're writing about like atheism, what is the common theme?
Well, one of the songs that we are doing right now, we're still writing the other one, so it's not even complete yet. Shit, let me see if I can find it here. I'll have to get rid of that. That's okay. So some of the lyrics for one of the songs that I'm doing that we are currently doing is called Let It Go. And the lyrics go as such. And don't confuse it with that song from Frozen. It's not at all like that.
Yeah.
Right? And some of my lyrics are like, I've been wondering why we still believe the lies, never questioning, don't even try. From birth onward, we're force-fed the word. Indoctrination really should be a crime. There's just no evidence for the existence of any gods or magic deities. But with reasoning and critical thinking, we could heal the world of false beliefs. So something along that kind of thing, right?
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
And do you have you ever had like any like theists who ask you what is an atheism, or they have like some kind of misconception about atheism?
I think most of them do, especially the real really religious ones. I don't think they think that we hate God, right? Most of them think that we exclaim that there are no gods and we hate God, and how can we exclaim that there are none and hate them at the same time? That just doesn't make any sense. I've had a few conversations with believers, and I take more the are you familiar with Anthony Magnabosco or any of the guys that do street epistemology, like Reese Nice-Wonder or those guys? They talk epistemology is their modus operandi, so to speak, on talking to theists. Right? They say, well, how did you come to your belief? How did you decide that it was true? That kind of thing. These are questions that I've often talked with people. And I've had a few interesting conversations, but some conversations can turn south really, really fast. So,
Yeah.
as soon as they get a hint that you're somehow insulting them, which I try not to do
Yeah.
most of the time, it can just derail. So I'm going to be saving. I will be doing some videotaping of some of these conversations for a different segment on this channel at some point. But I think I'll be waiting for spring and summer of the upcoming one before I start doing that. Well, the weather's better because I like to do it outside.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Things are happening. I'm ordering some microphones and another video camera. So
Yeah.
I mean, I've
And
got one that I'm using right now, but
oh yeah.
it's just what is it? It's an older one, but it's a 1080p high def Sony thingy, right? One of these guys right here. Right?
Awesome.
Actually got this. This thing's probably about 6 or 7 years old now, but it still works, and it's easy. I can easily upload my videos and stuff like that. So
Do you have an input for sound for that?
Yes, I do. I can actually put a microphone on it, but I find the built-in mic works just fine.
All right.
I've never had a problem. I might have to turn it down a little bit when I'm editing, but it's worked just fine for me. And I've got a tripod. I've got a couple of them actually. I like those gorilla ones, the ones you can bend and move around and wrap onto poles and stuff like that.
The gorilla.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like those ones.
Yeah. So because the reason I'm asking you that because in Indonesia, atheism is very, very misunderstood. At first, when people think that you're okay, yeah, of course, atheism for them is like equal to anti-theism, which is not.
No,
and also,
anti-theism is just another branch, really.
Yeah. So and
some
also,
atheists are anti-theist.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And also they associate it. I don't know how it happens over there, but a lot of people associate it with communism.
Yes,
and
that's false equation or equating.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you look at the communism, it has more like religious structure. When they applied, like in Stalin or or Mao Zedong or something.
Mao, right?
Mao, yeah.
I mean, I'm not even sure you could have called those guys actual atheists. Well, I think Mao was, but I think Stalin might have had some form of belief. At least some people think so. I don't know really.
But in any case, they were. I mean, the structure of their their ideology. It really, it's. I mean, it's religious basically. With a cult figure, and it's more like a sect kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
communism is. I mean, the idea behind communism of having a community that works together for the betterment of the community is basically what it is. And if you like, I lived in Israel, like I said, and lived on a kibbutz, and the kibbutz system is very much like a communist system, is where everyone gets together, we go to school together, we work together, and everything is done for the community, right? So it's a communistic type of system, but I wouldn't call it full-out communism. At least a lot of people associate communism with the way Russia used to be, right? Where it's all
exactly
harsh. Right? But actually, at its core, it really is just about a community working for the betterment of the community.
Yeah, it's like a social thing.
Kind of, yeah, exactly.
So so that they brand. Sorry, excuse me. They brand it with atheism with communism, and also one of the misconception is that atheism, it means arrogant because you are, better than the others, that there is no God.
Well, that would be agnosticism. Agnosticism deals with knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So if you're an atheist, you're just unconvinced by what they're claiming to be evidence that God exists. That's really the bottom line of what atheism is.
Yeah.
Right? And you can be an agnostic atheist as well. I mean, I guess it depends on whose definition you're using, because there's philosophical definitions, there's more worldly definitions. Just
Yeah.
I can't prove gods exist either way, but I
Yeah.
don't believe any do.
Yeah.
That's basically my standpoint. I have yet to be convinced by anything that someone's calling evidence. That's all.
Exactly. No, I am an agnostic atheist as well, because atheist is for me, my definition, atheism is about the belief and agnosticism is about the knowledge. So uh, so it's compatible. But yeah, so those are the misconceptions here. So and also obviously everywhere in the world, it's like if you're an atheist, then you don't have values,
Yeah,
because
the
you don't have
moral
a
question.
moral. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I have issues with that one too.
and
That's just so fucking wrong. It's not even funny.
yeah, it's not even funny. It's
No,
true.
like it's just like I think of who I am as a person and other atheists that I know as people, and they're very caring, giving, loving people, and their moral compasses I have no problems with. Well, most of them, anyways.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
good people are going to do good things. Bad people are going to do bad things. But I'll tell you, it takes something like fundamentalist religious beliefs to make otherwise good people do bad things,
Yeah,
or just bad beliefs in general.
yeah, yeah.
But dude, we're well over an hour,
All right.
so I
It was
know
awesome.
it's been a great conversation. Um,
Yeah.
thank you for doing this for me as well. It's been
Thank you,
great getting
bro.
to know you a little bit more because we've only had minimal contact through Twitter and whatnot. And I had to bring you into the family there with everybody.
Thanks for that.
Um, yeah, so you can get to know them a little better too, and we will do so. But I can only go for about an hour because I do have to go to a Halloween party tonight. So.
Awesome. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I will shut this one down, and then I'll send a link to the group that you are now a member of, and everyone can jump in on that one. Anyone that would like to be a part of our continued conversation.
All right.
Anyways, Mr. Humanobo, I won't tell anyone your real name,
Yeah.
as we promised. But
Yeah.
anyways, thanks so much for doing this, man, and it's great to get to know you a little better. And
Thank you,
thanks
bro.
to everyone for hanging out and watching and hearing this awesome conversation. We're going to have an after party for about an hour. And then I'm off to go get silly drunk and dress up in silly outfits and have some Halloween fun. Once again, remember, guys, it's called faith because it's not knowledge.